prepare your ear holes. Sorry neighbours. Today in this video, hopefully, I'm going to see this engine go back in that bike. And if I can get the engine in pretty easily, I'm going to move on and see if I can get that engine working in the bike. Last time it was a bit of a mare to get the engine out, and I'm expecting it to be even harder to put back in, so basically it's an exercise in damage limitation. Scratches, yeah, it's no problem, just don't want to break anything. First step, getting the engine down. I'm putting it on this plank for reasons I'm not entirely sure. I think what I'm going to do is put it on its side and cushion those cases with this mattress thing and see what happens from there. Well, I've tried to put it on its side, the engine on its side, and then bring the bike down, but it's just not going to go. If we could have the bike on its side and somehow drop the bike over it, it would work, but it's just too heavy for the bike's too heavy for me to do that by myself. Gonna have to have a think about it. This is the jury rig setup I've got now. It's looking a bit more promising. Still not confident about how it's gonna go, but it does get me closer. It's a bit more lined up. The bike's easy enough to manoeuvre 1/2 by 1, so I reckon, yeah, and I can lift the front up by itself, so I reckon I can manoeuvre the frame over the engine and roughly get the holes lined up. I guess this would be a whole lot easier with a jack, but I don't have one. And in true British tradition, looks like it's about to piss down, which will be fun. Jesus wept. Round 1 is over, the bike wins. I cannot figure out how to get this engine back in without a floor jack. No, I just can't figure it out. I tried reverting back to plan A with a wheel off so I could get a bit more manoeuvrability. Kind of, almost, but nowhere near. Have a cup of tea. Well, Jesus. Right, the next plan. A variation of plan B. Engine back on this plank, except that end is free of the frame, so I can, well, it was. So the idea is that I can bring it up past, plank up past the frame, and that side's the pivot, but I've got a scissor jack under that side, so I can bring it up gradually and work my way through. And whilst I'm sitting on the plank, I can manoeuvre it in and hopefully get this engine into the frame somehow. This is a lot more effort than I was anticipating. Definitely the hardest job so far. Well, this is the furthest I've got so far. It's under and getting in there, but it's all just fucking precarious. I don't see this working, but I'll keep going. Really could do with another set of hands. Well, getting tantalisingly close. those two I'm trying to sort out, but I cannot figure out. We're up against there somehow and I just don't know how to get it off that. Well, those were tight, but put some straps on because if I don't want this to slip right now. Made some half decent progress. I just can't figure out how to clear the frame there. Holy fucking hell. That was a mission and a half. Spent ages trying to fiddle with the engine whilst the bike was up straight, and I got it so far but I just could not clear this damn section to get this back half in. It was, the engine was sitting like that and I just couldn't clear it that. So I thought fuck it. It came out with the engine on its side, so strapped everything up as tight as I could, put it on its side, and then loosened off the straps and just manoeuvred it, and it went in within a couple of minutes. I did look on YouTube to see what the correct way of doing it is. I couldn't find a single video, and then I searched on forums and stuff. I could see people talking about taking it out, but nobody would talk about how they put it back in. Which, yeah, bit of an indication. I did see one where they swapped 750 engine in, but that was two guys and they had a, what was it, a weird hoist. Not hoist, a car jack, a weird big car jack for the engine, and that seemed to take them quite some time. When I raise my trigger finger, all your f***ers hit the deck. But yeah, this is just me on my own with no floor jack. Hell, not even just all I got is a scissor jack. But all the bolts are through. Well, that one's not quite stuck on the other side. That one's in. That one's in, whether it is. I'm gonna make sure it's all lined up, then pull them all out and copper grease them, put them back in, and then put the bike up and finish off. Oh my god, I don't want to do that again anytime soon. Bloody hell. Got there in the end. Put all the nuts and bolts back in for the part frame. Copper greased every single nut and bolt. Everything's tightened up. I haven't torqued it down yet, but yeah, I can come later. For the snapped bolt that used to be there, I've replaced it with this all thread, which is crap stuff. It's not high tensile and it bends pretty easily, but this is going to be a temporary fix, i.e. if it doesn't work, it's temporary. If it does, it's going to stay there until some other poor bastard has to deal with it. Probably me. But I'm glad I got that in now. I just wish it didn't take me most of the day. So right now, just reconnecting everything, all the cables and wires. So the neutral, some ignition thing, starter cable. What else? Oh, starter positive lead. So trying to do it as neat as possible because I don't like dealing with messy wiring. Try and get out of the way of most stuff. So yeah, reusing the clips. And once I got all the cables back on where they should be, including the coils, I'm gonna put the battery in and test everything still works for what I know to be working already. For this clutch lever assembly, there is supposed to be a return spring that goes from there to there. However, the one I've when I took this apart, the spring was corroded at one end and snapped. So this is what it was. The previous spring, and it was broken off about there. And what I've done is cleaned up a little and annealed part of the spring down this end here. I've rammed the screw up into about there to act as a heat sink, so the spring or the temper of this spring isn't lost here, but this bit just goes to quite a malleable steel, so I can wind it out and get it to fit in there. Bodged up a spring for the clutch arm. So I might try and make that better so there's not that slop, but oops, at least it's got some return strength now. I think it's probably pretty pointless unless it pulls it all the way back. But that might do for now, because I can't find any other springs I've got lying around here that will work. They're all too strong. Yep, I went back and changed it, so there's no slot there anymore. Whoops. Let's do one hand. But yep, that's good. I'm putting this all back together now. Putting back together the clutch assembly thing. Don't really know how to adjust this, but my guess is you need the cable to that arm at 90 degrees at rest, so you got the most torque. Maybe just a bit beyond, so over there, so as it engages you're at most torque. I don't know. I might go a bit beyond, just slightly. Engine needs to be filled with oil, and for that I'm going to be using the finest quality of oil that money can buy, which is this dirt cheap oil that I look out for at Asda. Ooh. In it goes, slowly. Got the wiring all done, batteries connected. I use the correct battery breather pipe. Where is it? That was what came with the bike, so somebody just, well, that's what usually comes with a battery, but somebody didn't bother to use the original pipe, which goes all the way down to the bottom of the bike. Taking the plugs out, put the caps on, connected up the coils, just to check to see if we're getting a good spark. Those are good strong sparks. Whether they're timed correctly is another thing, but I haven't adjusted the ignition timing. I'm going to put the plugs in, check what the compression's like, or hear for it. Once that's done, I've got to put the carbs in, figure out how all the cables and hoses work. There's a push-pull throttle setup, so you've got two for the throttle, and there's because it's a vacuum tap, it's got a mass of hoses just to feed fuel into the carbs, so I've got to figure out how that works. Plugs are in. Let's hear how it cranks over now that it's got some compression. That's just spat. Oops. That spat out both the plugs that were in the exhaust straight into the oil. That was close. These were disappearing up the intake tracks, but thankfully they didn't get lodged in the valve. Let's put that to the side. Let's crank over again. That's just moisture being spat out. That sounds good. Now this is all very confusing. In order to get fuel from, where is it, the tank into the carb, there are 5 hoses. From the tank there are 2. There is a reserve and a normal route. I don't know which one's which out of those 2, but those go to the back of this tap. And the one that feeds the carb is down, where's my finger? That one there, that feeds the carb. And to actually turn on the tap, there is a vacuum pipe, which is this one. It's a smaller pipe of the rest, and that goes to there on the tap. This vacuum hose goes into that fitting there. That's my guess, because that's the only place I can see that hose would fit, and it makes sense because I think that's directly into there. When that's where you read your vacuum from, in front of the throttle. And oh, to feed the carb with fuel goes in the bottom, in this fitting here, this T fitting. That's my guess. I think where I'm going to get it wrong is the reserve and normal pipe. I don't know how I'm going to see which one's which. Find out. I think I've got everything back together now, all that I can think of, apart from the tank and, where is it, the exhaust pipe. I did weld them back up, and I didn't film any of that because my welding's terrible. But I'm I'm a dab hand with an angle grinder, and those are all blended out. But that's doesn't really matter because I'm not going to keep that. That's just so I can see and test out this bike, make sure everything's right, then I'll buy a fancy stainless one. Adjusted the clutch, that's all good, feels nice. Throttle cables all in, so it turns nicely. Bit of slack in there so you're not forever opening up the carbs, cracking them open off idle. All the hoses that were supposed to go into the carb are now in. The overflow, the feed, the vacuum pipe, breather. Oh, what's that one? Oh, that's the clutch cable. Oh, the choke. Where is it? Alright. Choke cables all up, done up. That's all bolted down. Everything's in. Pegs on. I'm trying to think what I haven't done. No, I can't think what I haven't done. There is a minor annoyance with the cabling on this. There's supposed to be clips that's supposed to attach from there and then pop into there. There was one, you can see it there, for further along the frame, but that's broken. It's just crumbled. So I'm going to have to figure out a way of stopping this flapping about in the breeze, apart from putting a big zip tie across it, which I don't want to do. It's not urgent. I think I might just attaching it up to there via zip tie is okay for the time being. Don't know what that does though. Right, put the tank on, put the pipes in. I don't know if they're the right way round for the reserve or normal. There's an internal fuel tap which I've turned on there. I'm gonna put it on prime maybe? Where's prime? Don't know if anything's happening. I'm gonna put it on, I think that's prime. I can hear fuel running. Where's my torch? Where's the overflow? There. No fuel leaks. So choke on. Hang on, I'm gonna go get something from the van. Went and grabbed fire extinguisher. Ignore the tape, that's just to stop rattles. Let's put this out here. I've fears about starting a new bike since I saw it happen to my dad, and the bike's starting on fire. So whenever I start up a new bike or after a new lengthy build, I always get ready for fires. If it does start up, I'm not going to run it for long because there's no exhaust pipes on it. If it does catch fire, I'm going to push it out there and, well, yeah, let it happen. So choke on, ignition on, or whatever. Let's go. Ow, my ears. Why is that revved up so high? Oh, my ears. I set the idle wrong. Yeah, which way do I go? Wait, what's that? I don't know which way that goes. Right, that started up pretty quickly. Wow, I call that a great success. It started up pretty quickly, and when it did I got scared shitless because it was revving way higher than I was expecting. What do I need to do? I need to get that exhaust on. The problem I got is the gaskets I got don't really fit, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to get them on, and then once that's on I can start worrying about other things. Oh, it doesn't have a front brake at the moment. That's a bit of annoyance. Can't really take it for a spin tomorrow. The tank doesn't fit quite right. There's a missing part between the frame and the tank, so it's quite wobbly. Well, just it's hard to tell now. That needs bolting down, put on the seat. I think that'll do for now.